is best described as neutral evil, in the respect that they will follow some laws, but they won't exactly say no to it. They don't say no to inherently evil contracts unless it's like dabbling in a dark domain of like, no, let's not.
More likely it's not. The mercenaries in this instance are the bad guys.
Hypothetically, the clients that they take on can range from warlords, exiled lords, or disgruntled merchants who can afford them. It ranges, honestly.
Okay. Cool.
Oh wow, I can kick people out if I wanted to. I'm not going to, though.
It's only worth doing if they cause fights a lot.
So far nobody's been fighting, but I don't like Leslie.
He's a good person to have, so don't throw him out.
I won't. I just don't like him.
He may be useful, but he's a dick.
He's not even a dick, he just has a weird fucking accent that's over-exaggerated.
Oh, mine doesn't have an accent, but he annoys the piss out of me. He doesn't help
mine
me.
was Mexican.
He just follows me around and just, like, does nothing. And then he's always talking about his dead friends. I don't give a rat's ass about the dead friends.
It's only during that first part where you pick him up. He doesn't do that after you pick him up.
He hasn't done it since I've accepted him into the group, which was like maybe 5 minutes ago.
Yeah, he won't do it ever after that point.
So, what do you all wish to do? You are still on the relative outskirts. The patrols are a good distance away, as they don't seem to have noticed you yet.
I mean, we can try interfering or making a break for the town.
We can warn the town.
The town's already under attack.
Yeah, the town's already under attack.
Oh, okay.
They're kind of already in the town by now. The winds do seem to carry the sounds that isn't, and the lightning storm seems to subside for the moment, but the clouds still hang overhead. But you do hear the very, very faint clatter of steel.
So, historically this is a trading town.
It is known for being a trading center.
I know they're independent, but they're close to Belforum. Okay, could I roll knowledge and ability to know which larger faction, which group would want a town such as Toma either destroyed or under their control?
Sure. Nobility.
19.
You could see that the Caritas, the Dwarven Empire, they could minorly profit from having Toma directly under their control. With what you've seen on maps, besides Kreiko, Toma is pretty much beset by all sides by the Dwarven Empire. So assumably they pay tariffs and all this, so it might be... So you could reasonably argue that they could benefit from direct control of Toma. However, there's also the factor of it could be thinking on it, since it's a trading center, it could be a simply new management trying to assert themselves. And there's staunch resistance, hypothetically. Or it is a unknown power, or the Platinum Company might be trying to have a more permanent settlement to have protection money and more income flowing. These are, in your mind, those are like options that are presented to you. Valid reasons.
Okay. At the very least, we should investigate to see what's going on, just to determine whether it really needs our intervention or not.
Well, the only way to find that out is to get right in the middle of it, at which point we're going to end up, interfering whether we want to or not, because, people are going to be trying to hit us.
Well, the spyglass said they were already in the city, right?
Mm-hmm.
What?
No, the GM said they were already in the city.
Yes, the GM, yeah. They are moving in towards the city. Spyglass?
Oh, okay.
What was that, Tristan?
I said the GM said not that they were moving into the city, not the spyglass.
Yeah.
Well, you don't think we...
Yeah.
I mean, one of us could... When I say one of us, I mean the most light of foot could at least, sneak in. Or at the very least see... what's going on, but it's sounding like you want to pass this one by.
Where are you getting that?
I've been recommending an investigation. You seem to think that'll instantly get us involved, Len.
Right.
We don't have to be seen to get information.
Okay, how do you propose we get ourselves through that mess into the town, finding out information in the middle of an attack, and getting back out to report that information without getting attacked?
What was the train again, Greg?
Minor grasslands, but turning into sandy, kind of. It's somewhere between plain, like in the plainish areas.
So, kind of wide open.
Wide open area surrounded by a siege camp around the city walls.
Because my thought was to just use the spyglass to get an inner look of the city to see, again, how the mercenaries were going about things, whether it was straight a takeover or a slaughter.
Can we see into the city with the spyglass?
Well, there's a giant hole in the wall thanks to the lightning strike.
I mean, you can see anything of value. I was asking the GM, can we see into the city with the...
At this distance... with the distance that I'm thematically putting you, probably not. You could try moving a little bit closer, because the patrols are a bit closer to the city. Though you do perception check again, please. Actually, what's everyone's passive?
We don't have passive, this is Pathfinder.
Yeah, right, true. Just don't cut fail, essentially. Well, still perception. Yeah.
I have a flat 20.
520, 28.
$15.
Okay. Here's
Ah! Look at her with 36.
Oof. Um. As you were all discussing this, and for Len and wait, 20, Len and Cyrus, as you're discussing this, Cyrus, you're paying a bit more attention since you're kind of just letting them talk and kind of looking where you could hypothetically sneak in. You do see a patrol kind of start moving in towards your direction. You also see this as well, Len. They're not moving particularly fast. You just see that they're moving in your direction.
Well, you know, wait 5 minutes. You can probably ask him directly.
That's a good point.
Where are they heading this way?
Cyrus is going. Are there trees around us?
I'll say there's a small patch of trees.
And you know what? I am going to turn Garth into a kitten.
Okay.
Why would mercenaries in battle be concerned with a group like us?
They're patrolling the entire battlefield. They're probably, you know, here to
Making sure reinforcements don't show up.
Yeah, yeah. Because we could easily be scouts for reinforcements.
Because we don't obviously look like civilians.
And most people don't sit here awkwardly staring at a battlefield.
He's not wrong.
Unless they're a scholar, and then they sit there looking like even more awkward than we are looking right now. But they wouldn't know that until they get closer.
How large of a force is heading your way?
Four people.
But, you know, 4 people, the normal patrol size.
Oh, well, that's no real concern then. Do any of them look unarmed or particularly
It's
lightly
a combat
armored?
patrol. Why would they be unarmed?
Well, because if they have a mage with them, they don't normally walk around with, say, big weapons or heavy armor.
Hi?
said the cleric.
Said our entire party.
Yeah, said the cleric to the magus and the scald.
Like, I am proficient in martial weapons. I can use big weapons if I want to. I just choose not to.
And in my experience, you don't send the combat caster out on random patrol.
Now, how many casters do they have? We don't know.
Stranger
We're
things
technically
have
supposed to
happened.
be a rarity in this world setting, so
Yes.
we're like a magical fucking unicorn right now, guys.
Oh yeah.
Just to point that out.
Okay, like for Pokemon people, you are a magical shining unicorn. Not just any unicorn, a shining unicorn.
We're the shiny version.
Yeah, you're a shiny version and you have all S stats. Why? Because breeding. You are the most rare. Like, you all got lucky. It's like, holy shit, they're all mages. But yes.
Well, in that case, if it's just 4 people, we can handle that if anything uncouth were to happen.
Hmm.
They do seem to. They do stop about unless you do like move forward or anything like that. They stop about 400 feet out. a closer look, you're able to see that their mounts are.
One time he bought me this big mace. He called it badass. It was just. But I lost it.
Are two of the mounts are some kind of bipedal lizard.
I want one.
With small claws. The other two seem to be on quadrupedal lizards. The three of them, two of them do have their bows like at the ready. They don't have an arrow notched. Yeah,
Okay.
the other two have lances, and they kind of stab. One of them who has a red handkerchief or red mask of some kind near their face. One moment. Hey, traveler! Hey, travelers! One of them yells out, putting their hand up.
Well, you wanted information.
I guess we're getting it now.
Hi?
What is your purpose here?
Traveling, mostly.
From where?
We just left Belforum. It looks like you're having some troubles.
After that, where are you heading to? What is your destination?
The coast would probably be a better answer.
Is that pertinent, friend?
It depends. What are your allegiances to Toma?
Neutral.
Yeah, you see them kind of look to each other for a moment, for a couple of seconds. Then I suggest you move along, friend. There is nothing for you here for the next few days. Not until the new lordship is set up. Unless you wish to do business with a platinum company.
At that, Cyrus will chuckle a little bit. It's one of those hapless.
Can't really hear 400 feet away.
Am I missing something, Cyrus?
Just that they think, what the hell just happened? Nope, just that they think that they're platinum.
This is the Platinum Company, and these guys are the mercs. So the Platinum Company, it sounds like, hired them?
No.
They are the Platinum Company.
They are the Platinum Company.
That's why Cyrus
company
laughed.
as in company of men.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, that's why Cyrus laughed.
Yes, the
The fact
company.
that they think they're platinum.
Okay. I mean, They're businesses. Okay.
They are the business of platinum. They receive platinum. They kill for platinum.
Might I ask who holds your contract?
And what does it matter to you?
Mostly mild curiosity. Depending on whom your holder is, you might find yourself with some allies or a disinterested party that will move along.
I would suggest you just move along, move along, friend. These deserts do not have much business with other people, so I suggest you go about yours.
I'll look around the party. Well, unless any of you have been enlightened by this conversation.
Just that this guy's a twat.
That.
I find them amusing.
If anyone else can hear this, I wouldn't mind it if
Weird. What do I?
Again, it sounds like typical land grab maneuver.
Is definitely what it sounded like.
Something typical of our period of time.
Yeah. Okay. Moving onward then.
So you're moving away from Toma.
No, I would advise refugees from this. We might want to move on. If you want to do the clerical thing, we might want to move on to a path that's more likely to put us in contact with them.
Say again? It was kind of
Drowned
You
out.
know, there's likely to be refugees from this, because people are going to be fleeing the battle during the fighting and whatnot. So we might want to adjust course a little bit so we can get in, along the path they probably will be taking, just to, so the cleric can do his thing.
Go be a cleric kind of things.
Considering they're probably going to be needing healing and stuff.
That could be construed as an allegiance.
You're right. If they want to interpret that as an allegiance, they are welcome to try. But as a holy man, the church offering comfort to refugees is pretty much a universal thing, no matter which religion you follow.
Unless it's the one that wants to kill people, but then you're just an evil person. So
I would think there are certain ones that would disagree with you.
Yeah, but they're all bad.
Common sense for essentially this time period, this kind of what Len is saying will probably hold true, that it's not necessarily an allegiance, it's more of realizing that there are several deities. In fact, since it's a pantheon of different deities in clerics of different walks of life, and the whole fact that there's in fact there's multiple guilds that have no allegiance to their homeland, it is very common to have clerics basically heal refugees and have no allegiance to them. Or rather, that mercenaries or enemy forces will not see harboring refugees as an act of war.
And if we do, then we can kick them in the butt.
Unless they are significant refugees, but then it gets messy.
Okay, let's realign our course then.
Okay. So you will kind of pull the reins of your horse, of your chocobos, to kind of get away, to turn away. For those that see it, you go over the crest line. You go past them. You don't see them for a while, and after several minutes, if anyone cares to look back, you do see that one of their number is over on the hill, kind of watching you go back to the road, and then once sees you're actually heading to the road, heads back over past the hill down into the valley.
Okay.
So by the sign of it, it is. What would you all like to do now with all of this?
Until we encounter any refugees that could give us a bit more information as to what's going on, I think travel at a slow pace.
Well, depending on how long this is going, we need to go on a fast pace to catch up with them. Make up time.
Well, it looks like the attack had pretty much just started with the breach of the wall.
The breach of wall usually takes a long time.
And you're usually sieging or something before that.
I mean, magic, but okay.
Well, even magic, it can take a few blasts.
But it's going to at least take a minimum of 3 days.
In this world, you don't bring that to bear first, necessarily.
I mean, look at the number of siege towers and ballistas they have. It looks like they have quite a few.
And actually, one thing I forgot to check is that bolt of lightning that one that cracked the wall did, instead of just pure white, was actually like black.
Okay.
But the other lightning bolts returned to normal.
Okay. Can I make a survival check? See if I can note any tracks in the sand from, say, a mass of people moving?
Yeah, sure. Along your particular path, yeah, sure.
Cyrus, you want to give a hand? Or I guess some eyes? Hmm. 19.
What was that? 16?
19.
Oh, 19, thank you. Sorry.
Close though.
19. And away. You do see a large pair of tracks heading off in a somewhat similar direction of you're going towards, of heading to Kraiko or heading towards one of the closer, heading either this way or that way.
Okay. Well, you're right, let's pick up the pace then.
I assume you all would like to follow the tracks that go to Kraiko?
Yep.
Okay. It does take 2 more days of travel, but you do come across in about midday. You do see a very large gathering of people with carts, supplies, and other such things, moving in a slow formation. Well, not even a formation, a rabble, as it were.
Do they look particularly injured, particularly beat up? You mentioned Rhett?
I assume you're going to be approaching to see this? Because on initial, like, seeing from afar, you can't really tell. You would need to get closer to verify that.
Okay.
I would think. Yeah.
Sure.
So yeah, upon approaching the gathering, some take notice of you, and a couple do approach you in somewhat tattered clothes. One of them that approaches is a check thing. Where is the thing he sent me? I'm gonna go with a halfling, a halfling man, seemingly in his mid 40s, approaches you, seemingly some what used to be nicer garbs seem to be now dust covered and a bit disheveled. He's got a small pointy beard that of red that ends in a point. Please, Siraz, we have nothing left to us but what we own. Please, we can spare nothing that is not essential.
Easy, friend. We're here to help.
I forget how well armed you look.
Quite well armed.
Yeah. I forget that.
Yeah, you're adventurers. From a glance around, you do see some people with weapons, but they seem to not carry them correctly, as it were. They don't seem proficient in them, as it were.
Okay.
How... Do you truly mean it?
Yeah.
Diplomacy just for... Or actually, charisma just for sheer, like, aura of helpfulness, more or less.
Okay.
Well, actually... how are you all, like, carrying yourselves right now? That's actually a better way of putting it.
I'm just sitting on my chocobo, pulling up, hands nowhere near my weapon.
So
Yeah.
just travel mode. So.
I'm like a singing bard that's currently singing.
Weapons, sheaths, and all that, are they, like... Yeah, okay. He looks to you and says, then perhaps you can help. Do you have healing or anything? We won't say no to any service, but I have some coin I can pay with it, but I do not know how much you will charge for such services.
Coin will not be necessary for such assistance. The benevolence of Sekhmet will reign here for a time. I'll have no issues mending what ills I can.
I need to check something. What'd you call her? The Lady of Heals? Or...
Well, I referred to her as Sekhmet.
Yeah. Did you give her a title name or anything like that?
The title I will use is
Just
Segment
curious.
of the healing waters. The actual name here is Lady of the Waters of Life, but that would be awkward to actually say. So I will just phrase it as a segment of the healing waters.
He actually approaches your your chocobo and kind of goes up to you. For a cleric of Seknet, it has been many years since I've seen one. Pray, thank you, Sarah, thank you. He's like kind of bowing with it. Bless you, Sarah, bless you.
By the way, how large was this ragtag group? We talking like a crowd or something smaller than a crowd?
A crowd, if we're talking maybe 50 plus.
Okay.
Like, it's a good-sized group. It is fairly large, but still relatively ragtag. But after that, he's like, please, let us at least get you some water or something to thank you for this. To all of you, kind of, and he kind of motions with everybody and all of you to come to the crowd, and the crowd kind of has stopped at this point and is kind of watching you all to see what's happening.
I could certainly use a drink. Lead the way. This is a male. I heard halfling. I wasn't sure if there was a
yes.
Gender. Okay. Lead the way, sir.
Yes. Right this way. He's already kind of run off. His energy seemingly renewed by this.
Okay. As I enter the crowd, I'm gonna keep an eye out to see the kind of like mentally triage people as I'm going in.
Let's see. You've seen far worse groups from your travels and from stories. By seemingly some people are either already bandaged up to some degree, or it's bruises or all that. However, until the gnome brings you to a couple carts that seemingly hold the more invalid of them, you do see like someone who has like part of their leg missing. Someone has a very heavy, has half their face bandaged up very severely. Things like that. Probably about 10 or so, maybe 12.
Okay. After accepting the water, I will start to get to work, but as I'm heading towards the injured, Kiyomi, do you think you could ask around and maybe find out exactly why the Platinums are attacking them?
Yeah, I can do that.
Also, the gnome gives you not only water, but it gives you a little bit of like a strange sort of alcohol. It's pinkish in hue.
Oh, nice. I like this guy. Unless it's meant to be a numbing agent for the patient, so that I'm not going to drink it.
No. It's for you to drink. He knows who Sekhmet is.
Okay.
He seemingly understands it.
Awesome. I will certainly drink the drink. This crowd, do they have any like or many rather vehicles with them, like carts and wagons, more like any more than just like one or two?
Yeah, there's about probably this group was rather seemingly supplied. They've got at least like four carts. They technically have a fifth, but that's where they keep the invalid and all that.
Okay. Len, you want to foster some goodwill by seeing if any of their wheels need repairs?
Yeah, I'll work on repairs. Cyrus can work on food. You can do healing, and
I guess I'm gonna entertain
you can do
people.
Intel gathering, yeah.
And intel gathering.
Okay, so in what order would people like to do things?
I will entertain and then gather intel.
Yeah, I think we start with Kiyome. I've been doing a lot of seeming spotlight camera focused stuff. Let's share the wealth.
You can continue doing that. I'm okay with this. You know what I'm doing right now. But I would definitely start with entertainment before I start asking them prying questions.
Of course.
Because people in a good mood tend to answer the questions that you want to ask them.
Any particular tales or songs that you're regaling them with? Anything that, just overall thing, just curious.
It'd be just basic tales of hardship and how the hero got through it. Mind you, because I've been writing about the party, it's going to be somewhat centered on the party. And I'm not going to make it obvious.
You know what?
Don't ask me
want-
to.
Judy, Darth Vader!
Also, Eric,
Oh god.
if you manage to get Reese to write a few lines for that,
No.
no, I'm just saying, if you manage to write like a few lines for the ballad or anything like that, or a story, bonus XP from the entire party.
Ooh.
Why do I feel like someone's going to start harassing me for the next couple of days?
Yeah, that is if you wish.
Given that we are 4,700 away from a level, yeah, I'm gonna harass you.
Fair enough. I guess I need to start one.
And also bonus XP for, posts and all that good stuff.
Yeah, Brian.
I don't think he's on the call anymore. I don't think he's in the call anymore. Or was that just, off to the wind?
Well, he's not. Didn't know if he came back in or not, but either way, it's now recorded on the record.
Fair enough.
Indeed.
Oh, yes. You know what? But before that, performance for Kiyome.
34 on singing.
Whew.
You asked me to perform, I can perform. Sounds so wrong.
You get your audience is mostly of the younger variety, as they're in some of their parents, because they're trying to help them through adjust to this whole thing. A few others are actually intently listening, especially with that very high check of you've got a very good sized crowd, and it is with rapt attention that you are giving this tale.
I'm singing the mooks. I have an army of mooks. But no, in all seriousness, hooray for distracting them from their pains and suffering of the world. That's what I'm doing first, and I guess I also would need the robot diplomacy to get that information later.
Mm-hmm.
Which I'll do that near.
Yeah, and we can go ahead and do that as we're doing that. Is there anyone in particular you want to try to talk to?
More likely to be the adults of the group, not the kids.
Of course. Any particular people, such as the halfling, or the or like any particular figures that you're looking for, like the more older ones or anything like. Just curious.
I'd ask the halfling since he seemed to try to be a representative of the group, but overall, I'd be asking just about everyone who looks like they're trying to organize the group and has some form of role of like leading them somewhere. Because if they don't know the information, they'll probably know someone who does.
This is fair. The diplomacy we'll say is for the overall adults, and we can roleplay the halfling if you so choose.
I'm good. You don't have to roleplay it, but it's a 27.
Okay. From the adults that you're getting, the ones who seem to be figures, you get one who had been one of the town guard, who was kind of given the task of take these people and get them the hell out of here. She explains that from what she was told it takes her a moment because she's trying to get over everything. Who came was you know what, I need more fantasy names. Good random
You
gen.
have a list of about 40 names in front of you before you start a session.
Yeah.
Oh no, that's fair. That is a fair thing. But you know what? I've got a general vibe of what I'm going for. She says that earlier someone had come with terms to surrender to the Lord of Red. Supposedly, from what she understands, she seems to be still relatively. She didn't live in the city long enough to have been there for several years, but decades, or like at least 20 years earlier, there was a disagreement among the council of the merchants. From what you do know, Toma was led by essentially a small council of the most prominent of the merchants and other such people. Someone had gotten kicked out for trying to overstep their bounds, essentially. She never got a name or anything like that, but she does recall that they were kicked out of Toma for an assassination attempt, for trying to hire an assassin to kill one of their competitors, and well, it failed, and the council member and their family kind of amscrayed. Supposedly, the Lord of Red is either the same council member or someone from there, from what she understands. That's what she was told. Other people who might know better would be the halfling. And for him, he tells you a similar story, but he does have more names to it. It was Counselor Telva. Specific Telva being the surname. Counselor Telva was rather already ambiguous. They could never tell if it was a he or she because they were always wrapped in cloaks and hid their face, and whenever they spoke, it was a mix, some kind of enchantment that mixed between male and human and in between. But yes, from what he remembers, because he was still a minor merchant during the time, the Talva family was essentially kicked out and chased out because they tried not only an assassination but a straight up uprising against the merchant families, because to remove one of the more key merchant families. If that makes any more sense, because I know I babble. Does that make any sense?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm just making sure I made sense of all that. Anything else, Eric?
No, not really. That basically answered the questions. I just go back to entertaining the people. Once my questions were answered, because keeping people in better spirits is better than having people be depressed about losing their home.
Fair enough. Who would like to be next?
I'm not sure how much role-playing I need to do for fixing wagons, but...
Oh, that's fair.
Yeah.
No, just curious. Yeah, so, roll your repair. If you wish to chat up anybody, you can choose to do so. That is up to you.
And I'm leaving the gathering information up to the people who specialize in that, so aside from, triaging wagons and, stuff related to what I'm actually trying to do, no, I'm good.
That's fair.
Okay. I guess really that just leaves me, huh?
Yep.
Um,
Because I think Sierra bailed, so she can't do her hunting.
Sierra.
Yes.
Oh, she is.
Hey.
Oh my god.
It's a miracle.
Hey, it's a miracle.
Sleep
Make some survival
well.
checks to hunt food.
Hopefully my internet goes well.
Alright.
To hunt and make food, or to just they've got supplies. You can use those because, like I said, essentials. But do whatever you wish. Hunt.
Alright,
survive.
I will hunt. Let me pull up my sheets. Up at the survival.
You get a +2 for Garth.
Awesome. Uh, 12, 25 plus 2 is 27.
Nice. You're able to hunt some game, and what's the word I'm looking for? A supplement the supplies that they already have, and able to help with the meals and kind of get a rather large stew going of hearty meals. Presumably, this is with a look on some of their faces. This is the nicest meal they've had in about a week, and does raise their spirits.
Yay!
And I think that really does leave back to David.
Okay, so we have these injured folk. Okay, I guess what it would be, okay. What I am going to be doing is, of course, healing folks. So I take it that would be a heal check.
Mm-hmm.
And to aid with the healing, I would like to expend 4 channels.
Okay.
There's my d20. Mediocre roll, but that's okay. 22 for the heal check.
Still good enough to essentially properly perform medicine, rewrap bandages, give them new ones, rub oils and herbs and all the good stuff, and actual divine healing that is going to be well enough to make the invalids more comfortable, at least for those that can't. Like, for example, the person that lost their leg, it's not as it's closed up, but they still have the leg missing. Whereas others that had, like the one that had the bandages around their face, you were able to completely heal that. It was a rather nasty the scar still remains of like a burn scar from something kind of running up the right side of their face, like the front. But you're able to mostly restore them to a state where those that, if they got healed, can move, and those that can't really, that are like missing limbs or something like that, are more comfortable.
Right. Now, I don't have the power to restore lost limbs. However, Len might have the power to make replacement limbs.
With what I have on hand, I can probably make them, like sculpted wooden things, but they wouldn't be functional. Well, no. Depending on what they have on hand, I might be able to Evil Dead it.
Evil Dead it? I was thinking at least peg legs or something.
That's what I mean, like sculpted wood.
Yeah.
So it looks like a foot, but it's obviously wood. Or if you have some time, I can totally Army of Darkness it with the the gauntlet that somehow works.
While you're fixing the wagons and kind of making sure that they're in making sure that the irons are holding the carts together and all that, you look into their supplies, kind of give it a once over. You're looking at all that, look over to some of the people that are missing limbs, you're like, You're like, you do some quick math in your head. You can give them they're not going to be complete replacements for their legs, but you can at least give them functioning prosthetics. You have enough material here that if they wanted to, you could give them, like, as I said, good enough peg leg, like what?
Yeah, you can give them mobility. Is that what you're trying to say?
Yeah, you can grant them mobility and and minor things like that.
Okay, well, then, like I said, I'll do it's functionally a peg leg, or I might put a hinge on it so it actually has a knee, unlike a peg leg. But at least try to craft it so it looks like an actual leg, so it actually has. It actually has like a foot with a little hinge in it, so he's got a little bit of mobility and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, it has some kind of articulation to it.
And actually looks like a leg versus just being a stick that we shoved in your stump.
No, that's fair. Go ahead and roll craft then.
Would that be craft? Would that be carpentry?
I'm gonna do it with craft mechanical since I'm you got some hinging and stuff that I'm doing.
Yeah, and just to check on something. Mine is good. Okay. And they actually also have a carpenter on hand.
Okay, so if he can handle the wood shaping, I can handle the actual, articulation.
You pitch him the idea, and he kind of his eyes kind of light up with that, like, yeah, that sounds good. I've never worked with trying to do limbs before, but first time for everything.
Natural 19.
Nice.
Woo!
That's going in the sketchbook.
Yeah. Along with his...
I did the hard part. He just has to sit there with some sandpaper for 20 minutes.
He might crack the wood.
You mistake. When I said craftsman, I meant a craftsman. When he hands them to you, like you're expecting, just pure functional stuff. Beautifully ornate. Like even in the short amount of time that you gave him the task, it's very well done and does look a lot like it's like those porcelain dolls that they use for like drawing and all that. Mm-hmm. Looks very similar to those kind of legs. Because natural 20.
Oh, we nailed this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you may inadvertently. Yeah, as he's working halfway, he's like, I think you may have just made me found my other calling. But, and at that point, it's like, by the way, what's your name? And kind of like just overall kind of like discussion, chatting out.
Len Cara?
Good to meet you, Len. Waller, I'll remember you. Venom. But, yeah. Did anyone else want to do anything in particular?
Negative, Ghost Rider.
Let me see.
Well, Cyrus has fed them, so she's probably keeping her distance. Probably gonna go back out hunting just so she has something to do.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god.
No, with this many injured, I'm probably spending like the entire day healing folks. While I'm healing people, I want to ask questions like, I just kind of want to figure out from the injured that can speak anyway, what, why the Platinum Company attacked them. I know Kiyome got some information, but I don't think that's really been relayed at this point.
Mm-hmm. this would be simultaneous. From what the people that are getting healed and kind of tending them to, or and their loved ones, what they can tell you is that. What you get, the picture you get is very similar to what the guardswoman told Kiyome, except without the history lesson, more or less. They just tell of how one day a small squad of about 12 soldiers approached the gates. One person clad in pure scarlet robes and enshrouding their face and all this, speaking to the town, saying to surrender the town to the Lord of Red, or suffer the consequences. And the council and the people said, essentially, piss off. And then the platinum company came. Or rather, someone realized too late that the platinum company had gotten hired. And when they heard wind of that, that's when they started pouring out refugees, as many as they could. Because they did try to surrender, but when the army came, but at that point, the figure they can only call the Lord of Red said there's only but one chance before death, or something to those lines. It's kind of garbled or some kind of like I kind of forget. I don't really remember. It's more hearsay at that point. Nobody remembers what was actually said because they tried running, because they were one of the first ones to outright leave.
Right.
But yes, you do get the distinct impression of the whole platinum company of, as soon as they heard that, you can hear the almost terror in their voice of what that name means, of what that reputation, like what they have done in the past. You can interpret that as you will.
Okay. I guess as the night falls, we as a party can kind of get together and compare notes, figure out what steps to take next.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything in particular that happens during the during the time until, I guess, night falls and this refugee group kind of goes into camp mode?
While Cyrus is out hunting, Cyrus, while you're out hunting, you do come across some, like, since you're kind of going through in a very large area, you're sort of patrolling the area. You do take note of that there are some, like, some jackals that are traveling in packs and kind of giving you a once over. There was a, but since they're jackals, as soon as you got close with Garth, especially, they kind of just vamoosed. Other things of note. There was 3 lionesses that watched you from afar and did kind of see if they can slink towards the refugee camp, but you were kind of, but the party also kind of dissuaded them along once more with Garth. I need to check one last thing though. As you are traveling around once more, you do come across something that makes your senses kind of make you stop. Because of your particular affinity with things, you feel... I don't know if I can properly call it familiar, but you recognize a certain wrongness in a certain area of the desert. You notice how the sand, as closer to a certain point near a small cave, plant life seems to wither and die, and the sand turns from bright brown to lightning to gray, and then finally at the cave's entrance, pure black.
Can I investigate further?
You can. You approach this. You approach the cave. It's about 20 feet in total diameter, so a rather large cave mouth. Looking inside, you don't see anything. You don't. Do you have dark vision?
Let me double check. I have low level, however, hold on.
That's how you can get dark vision by using your Vixen powers.
Yes, I can get dark vision.
With what powers?
Vixen, it's a DC superhero character that does what the Hunter does of channeling animal aspects.
Okay, animal aspect, yeah, okay. I'm like, Vixen, the hell is Vixen? Okay, would you like to make darkness?
Yes.
Okay. Appearing in the darkness, 60 feet darkness, right? Or is it 30?
I believe it's 60.
60, okay. Peering into the cave, your eyes, from before switching to infrared, basically, what little the cave mouth itself is kind of into a small hill, so the top of the cave kind of juts out more and over the entrance, so not as much light pours in. So until you step into the cave itself and then switch to infrared, from what you see into the cave is seemingly normal darkness. Let me take a look at your sheet real quick for something. I know it's been a while, but since it's been updated, but I think I can get a general gist of something. Probably should have had this. Don't get it. Actually, what languages do you have? Just curious.
One quick second, and I can tell you. I have. Oh, sorry, the sheet. Abyssal. Common, Draconic, Druidic, Elven, and Sylvan.
Okay. Check something. Peering into the cave, it seems to be normal, though something does catch your eye for a moment. Within darkness. Well, actually, a perception check at this point for this particular thing.
All right. Dun, 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 dun. Perception is up. Come on, da, da, da. My computer is lagging, so please forgive me. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. 19 plus 15 is 34.
Okay. Looking off to the left side of the cave, you take note that even in infrared, you can kind of tell that there's like some kind of indentations on the left side, but you can't really make them out with dark vision. I believe that's how dark vision works. Or, yeah. It's just that I think with the particular way that dark vision works, from what I've heard it described, it's essentially infrared. So yes, you can see in the dark, but you can't really like read things. So you see that there's like indentations into the wall, or like some kind of evidence of it, but you can't really make it out without some kind of light source.
If it's physical indentations, that would still show up in a thermal image.
Fair enough. And with the way these are...
Especially if they're large enough.
Fair enough. This is true. And also along with that, let's see. For the... you see, it you're able... Without getting too close into it, you can kind of read some of it. It goes from common. It seems to be older, obviously. By how much, you're not sure.
Mm-hmm.
But it says, beware you who enter. Awake not the wind. Awake not the winds and dust of dark. Let them remain in the dark.
That's what I gathered.
Yes, that is what is in common. And you do. Well, actually, I don't know if that would be abyss. No, not really. And there is. Oh, no, never mind. And that's all that there is to it. From where you're standing in the cave, there's nothing else. Without going further into the cave.
Alright, that's no biggie. I'm gonna make a mental note to come back here, though.
Okay. So you kind of mentally remember where it is, kind of making your way back to the camp and kind of making a mental note that way. Okay.
Yeah. So I can come back when there's more light. Actually, I think I'm gonna camp here.
Ooh.
Okay.
I'll send Moto back to tell everybody that
Call.
What languages does Moto speak?
It's a silver dragon, so none.
They speak
Yeah.
Kakao.
Yeah, and he speaks Kakao. Unless anyone speaks
Oh, she can
Sylvan.
tie a message to his leg.
Okay.
yeah. That's why I figured I'd just take
I was about to say, unless there's a way.
No. I was just gonna do the occasional pigeon bird messenger type thing.
Okay. Probably goes to Len, assumably?
That would be a fair assessment, because he probably knows me best.
Yeah. So yes, you do. So, around evening, like the moon's starting to rise over the horizon, and the sun's doing its final setting. Moto comes up to you as you're doing your prosthetic work. I can't remember what Moto exactly is, or what noise he would make.
Ow.
He kind of.
Take the message from it, give it, thank it, give it some jerky.
No.
What exactly does your letter say?
I found the cave. I'll give how many steps it took me to get to, and be like, I'm camping here for the night.
Alright.
And the cave is safe. I will make sure to put that the cave is safe, so not to make people worry.
Well, after Len is done with his prosthetic work, he will let the others know what's up. And then hike up to the cave, because you need somebody to help her keep watch, because she has to sleep.
Eventually.
Unless I'm around.
That is true.
You probably want to come back then.
I'll just hike up, drop the spell on her, and hang out.
Yeah, that would work too.
What are the rest of you doing for the night? Just pitching tents, I imagine, with the other refugees? Or with the refugees? You aren't refugees.
Though, again, I would like to kind of compare notes with everyone else. So has anyone found any unusual things with this assault?
Nope.
Okay.
I mean, it sounds like a straight up, they want this stuff because whatever person's paying this group wants it, and they got rebuked, and now they're being paid to take it by force. And maybe be a little bit brutal to the people who refused them. Unnecessarily. Sounds like relatively common land grabs in the land of city-states.
Yes. Yeah. At least we're hoping the people here. It's certainly we're not equipped to take out a
Army?
large group like that. Okay, I think after depending how bad these guys are, but after a few days of traveling with them, break off and continue on to our destination.
I guess, yeah, make after we're sure they're in the clear.
Yeah.
Fuck. When is my dad's birthday?
The day he was born.
Obviously that.
Hey, I'm just trying to help you out.
Hey now, it does not help in this case. I have to answer so many fucking questions in this thing as torture.
That'll do. That'll do it.
But I say we do what we can to help these people and then continue moving because there isn't really too much we can do.
Yeah.
It's not like we could just cast teleport and send them places.
I know that's beyond what I'm able to perform.
I mean, I can kind of teleport myself through a door from one area to another, but that doesn't really count because that's just me. And I have to see both locations, so it's kind of niche.
Yes, that would.
But hey, it means I don't have to walk up a bunch of stairs if I can see the top of a tower from the bottom. May not be the smartest thing to do, but I can do it.
Yeah. Well. Okay, Greg, sounds like the plan is to spend a few extra days healing these guys and making sure they're out of range of a pursuit, and then continuing on to our ultimate destination.
That's right. Which is probably going to be traveling with them longer because the halfling you do hear from the halfling and kind of all of them that they wish to go to Craigo because one group decided to go to one of the dwarven cities, but they decided to go with Craigo because, especially after their recent resolved civil war, the princess is very well known to be helpful and kind, and the overall city-state is prospering very well, so they wish to see if they can find their work there.
Come in.
So,
Okay.
I just finished Justice League versus.
So, one last thing.
Do I need to make any checks for healing the people?
Healing people? If you wish, sure. To kind of clean their bandages one more, double check if it's healing or if it's tanking.
18 and 13, nothing too spectacular.
Fair enough to pass along with medical stuff and taking your time, assumably. Yeah, that's fine. You're able to continue kind of help with the healing process and, well, make sure it's not gonna heal mucked up. It isn't gonna be. They're still gonna have scars, but they aren't gonna be nasty scars.
Right.
It heals properly. One question though, before we head off. Sierra, you still here?
Hold on. Yeah, I'm still here.
Mm-hmm. Okay. As night settles over everybody, and Len, you were with Cyrus.
Yes.
After talking to the wee hours, Cyrus, you go to sleep eventually, I assume?
Yeah. Well, I would probably be already curled up around Garth, halfway asleep anyway, so by the time he got there.
Mm-hmm. Sleep takes you. And it seems to be dreamless at first.
Oh,
until something.
Shouldn't have slept in that cave, man.
No, you were on the outside of the cave, correct?
No, I slept inside the cave.
Shouldn't have done it.
You feel cold. And a whisper of a voice that sounds like ice, that feels like icicles. Ash nazk terpatuluk. Ash nazkim patur. Ash nastra tuluk. Ag bursu mishi krim batul.
That's what I hear.
And then you feel cold winds and dust in your mouth, tasting like black powder, but not anything like Len has had until you awaken the next morning. And that's where we'll end the session.
Ooh.
I like that.
Yeah, I even though we did this thing with the refugees that we're ultimately gonna continue traveling for, it was nice to have everyone do something.
Yeah, I was worried about that for a second, but I'm like, oh my gosh, everybody. And then as soon as you said prosthetics, I'm like, oh, Len can help. Engineer man to the rescue.
Yeah, so it's like, I know that's something that Kinara couldn't do, but as a man of medicine, I believe he could have thought of it. So it's like, hey, Len, you can do this. And as always, I like your ability to perform voices. That is always a treat.
Thank you. What did everyone think?
Well, I'm kind of wondering what's going to be happening once we reach our destination, considering so far the Platinum Company doesn't seem to have any connection, though. Our ultimate destination as well. Clearly, there's going to be some kind of grab going on.
Anyone else? Thoughts, concerns, favorite recipes?
I mean, if you really want to know my favorite recipes, Greg, that's a good question.
You see, this is why I ask.